Hi everyone, welcome to the iSpring Solutions webinar series, where every week we talk about e-learning trends, share iSpring tips and tricks, and cover clients' cases. My name is Nadia. I am a community manager at iSpring, and I will be the moderator for today's session. And today's webinar is dedicated to customer service skill training. To understand this topic, I invited my colleague from the Customer Success Department, Katie. Hi, Katie. How are you doing today?
Thank you for letting me know. Hi everyone, doing great today. Not much better now. How about yourself?
I'm feeling great too. At this point, let me pass the mic over to Katie to start the presentation.
Perfect. So, hi everyone again. I'm happy to start our webinar. And first of all, I would like to thank you so much for joining us today. Today we will see why customer service training is important and cover all the essential information you will need to launch an effective and engaging learning experience. Before we start, I would like to ask you a question: which industry your company belongs to, and also whether you provide customer service training for your employees. Kindly participate in the poll, and then please, if you can, write down your industry in the chat. Perfect. I see that majority of you provide customer service training. That's awesome. And we also have guests here who do not provide customer service. I believe all of you, this webinar will be super helpful for all of you. And let me see in the chat. We have here healthcare, government, contract services, financial, perfect, businesses. Great, great, awesome. And now let's start our webinar. First, I think it's super important to understand of what customer service training is. Customer service training is intended to improve customer support, experience, and consequent satisfaction. Great training is ongoing and revolves around developing skills, competencies, and tools that will help employees provide clients with a rich customer journey. This type of training can be delivered in person, through e-learning, or using a blended approach. It usually includes product knowledge training, customer interaction training, for example, dealing with an angry customer, reframing in a negotiation, building trust, training on market-specific communication style and language policy, technical training, such as using different software and tools of the trade, and industry-specific training, for example, training on white labels or ancillaries if you work in the travel industry. Why is customer service training so important? There are lots of reasons. Let's take a look at some of them. More training equals higher job satisfaction and leads to customer satisfaction. Research performed by Clay Company indicates that 68% of employees rate their company's training and development policy as the most important. This shows that when a business invests time and money in training their staff, the employees are likely to feel more satisfied with their jobs. I'm sure this is especially important in customer service because satisfied employees lead to happier customers. The second reason is that customer support teams need cross-channel expertise. You know that the way we shop is changing, and with that, customer expectations are changing as well. Customers are no longer satisfied to receive customer support only by phone or email. Nowadays, they expect to receive customer support across multiple channels such as live chat, WhatsApp, and social media. Employers need to train their staff on using these new channels and also coach them through all the other changes that occur in their work. This is why constant training and upskilling are very needed. The next reason is that excellent support experiences build customer loyalty. It costs a business 5 times more to attract new customers than to grow existing ones. So never underestimate the importance of retaining existing customers and maintaining their loyalty. Studies by HubSpot research found that 93% of customers are more likely to become repeat customers if they have had a great customer service experience. Besides having a happy, loyal customers has another competitive advantage: lower cost marketing. And finally, most people remember feelings, not facts. When it comes to customer experience, most people remember how they felt more than the exact details of a transaction. Positive or negative interaction with customer service can stay with people for a long time. This, uh, this definitely explains why excellent training in this area is key for companies. And now let's see who needs customer service training. Think of all the staff in your company who deal with clients every day. These people are the real face of your business, and your business will be judged based on these employees' manners and behaviors. But let's be more specific. Now we will cover just a few examples of professions or sectors where customer service training is fundamental. Of course, the first sector is retail. As the world of e-commerce continues to boom, physical stores are forced to compete. While they often cannot keep up with prices or even convenience, they can benefit from their strongest asset, excellent customer service. And the goal of customer service in the retail sector is to teach staff to add value in terms of experience, product knowledge, and communication, so that the shopper actually buys in the store rather, rather than just trying in the store and then buying online at a lower price. The in hospitality, Mhm. In hospitality, customer service training plays a huge role in a hotel continued success. Many people associate hotels with vacations, and of course, they are willing to pay more to guarantee a great experience. And since it's a high ticket purchase, shoppers are more likely to do some research before booking a hotel. This might include some reading online reviews or asking around for recommendation. The next example is aviation. Flying, of course, can be stressful for a lot of flyers. So the need for a well-trained customer service team is greater. When stress levels are heightened, a negative customer experience can escalate and cause bigger issues. And different from a shop, a hotel, staff cannot simply ask a customer to leave. The need to handle issues professionally is extremely important. And finally, healthcare. In healthcare, customer service training is especially important. Dealing with health issues is stressful, and the last thing patients need are complications coming from poor communication with the staff. Customer service training can cover a variety of topics. Some topics are effective communication, improved listening skills, identifying and addressing patient needs, telephone etiquette, working across all generations, conflict resolution, and respectfulness. Now you can ask me a question, but how we can train employees on customer service online? The landscape of customer service skills training had changed over the last few years with a very big shift toward online training. But why is that so? The first reason, of course, is flexibility. Online training offers flexibility on where employees can learn, when they can learn, what devices and methods of learning they have access to, and how they consume their online training modules. And the second reason is mobile devices. The average American checks their phone 96 times a day. 96 times a day. Wow, that's roughly once every 10 minutes. Since we rely on our mobile phones more and more, the demand for training on our mobile devices increases. And of course, since the future is digital, let's look at the steps needed to launch online customer service training successfully. Step 1 is to develop a customer service training implementation plan. Every great digital learning project begins with an implementation plan. When you create your plan, you will need to consider who your audience is, their needs, and the issue they need to solve. Next is assessing the scope of the project and making sure that your company is prepared. Readiness can be divided into two parts: content readiness and technological readiness. Let's start with the content readiness. If you already have some training content, decide if it is ready to be transferred into an e-learning course. To do this, consider these questions. Is your current content aligned with the training objectives? How well is your existing content organized? Does it have a clear outline and learning objectives? Will you need to customize, create, or curate content? How much content is ready to go or can be transferred easily? How often do you think you will need to make changes to the content? And once your content is ready, you will need to consider your technological readiness. Do you have the tools or in software you need to launch your e-learning program? There are two fundamental tools to consider here: content authoring tool and learning management system. A content authoring tool is the software you will use to build your courses. When you are shopping around for the perfect tool for your company, kindly keep these questions in mind. Is it user friendly? I think it would be great to look for a tool with an intuitive interface so you can cross train more authors within your company and roll out your training as quickly as possible. Does it allow me to create the type of content I want to create? Think about what your training would benefit from and choose a tool that delivers those functionalities. For customer service training, you will probably want an authoring tool that you can create simulations and interactive quizzes with. And can I create training that works on different devices? Consider your audience and how they will consume the training. If mobile learning is important for them, make sure your authoring tool is responsive. Can you make changes quickly? You will definitely have to make updates to your training, so it would be great if you choose an authoring tool that is easy to update. And the last question here might be, do I need to localize my content? And you might not need to choose a tool with a multi-language feature, so you can go for a tool that allows you to author content in just a few minutes. And a learning management system is a platform that houses your training modules and tracks learner progress. Choosing the right LMS is essential for a great learner experience. And here you need to ask yourself the following questions before you choose an LMS. Again, is it user friendly? It's really important to choose an intuitive LMS that will be super easy for learners, trained professionals, and administrators. Can I track progress of courses easily? Think about the data you will need from your LMS to measure the success of your training. The essentials here should include completion status, learning progress, and assignment results. Does it let me host the instructor-led training sessions? So if you are going to provide blended learning, your LMS should support virtual training sessions and initiatives, for example, managing web meeting schedules and monitoring attendance and performance. Does it have built-in gamification? When regard to engagement and retention, gamification is a winner. So it would be great if you choose an LMS that offers badges, leaderboard, or contests to add some fun to your training. And here, before we go to the step 2, we would like to ask you if you have an LMS in place. Kindly participate in the poll. Mhm. I see that a lot of you already have an LMS, and I hope you are satisfied with your LMS. Great, super. Thank you so much for answering. And let's go to the step number 2. Step number 2 is to create learning objectives and plot your course. Start by answering this question. What specific skills or knowledge should the customer service agents have after completing the training? Define your general goal and divide it into separate learning objectives. This will make creating your course outline much easier in the long run. And that is because it creates a clear structure to follow and guarantees that all training content in the course is relevant. And right here, it would be great to remember the golden rule: one objective per training module. Here in this picture, you can see an example of this type of goal settings. If the objectives you have are still quite broad, you can split them into more specific ones, like in the example in the picture. Let's go to the next step. Step 3 is to create your e-learning course. With the right authoring tool, the possibilities for creation are endless. If you want to build courses easily and quickly, it would be great if you try iSpring Suite Max. This is a super user-friendly authoring toolkit that will let you create online courses, quizzes, video tutorials, and role-play scenarios, and of course, interactive activities right in PowerPoint. When it comes to creating customer service training, there are 3 core content types that are incredibly effective: Dialog Simulations, visually appealing slide-based courses, and quizzes. Let's start with Dialog Simulations. Dialog Simulations is engaging, relevant, and immersive way to practice in a controlled environment. These simulations imitate a real conversation with the customer and help employees master communication skills without any risk of damaging relations with the client. Right now, I would like to demonstrate the example of a dialog simulation. Right now, we will have a few examples, and the train would like to know how we can, what we can do in different situations. And let's decide what we can do in this situation. So I will randomly select the option and I will see the feedback. Let's go to the next situation. Right now we also have a description of the situation and we need to decide what we would like to do or ask. Let's try to understand. Perfect. I'm awesome today. Oops, not so awesome. Great. And finally we have dialog simulation. Perfect. We passed this simulation. The next is visually appealing slide-based courses. Using a simple slide-based format that learners are familiar with allows them to focus on the content rather than focus on navigation. Key guidelines here might be: avoid overcrowding slides, use your brand colors, fonts, and logo, keep images consistent in style and size, and also use negative space to draw the eye to the key information. Right now, let's also take a look at this refreshing example of a slide-based course about reframing in negotiation that was created with iSpring Suite Max. Course, The Power of Positive Thinking. We have very simple slide-based course, but it's really easy to focus on the needed information here. And finally, quizzes and assessments. Including a quiz is a great way to encourage learners to pay attention and digest the content. When we know that we are going to be tested on something, we definitely tend to pay more attention. It also helps trained professionals see how their employees understand the material. And also, let's take a look at the example. How to establish contact, the quiz. So here, let's just quickly take this quiz. We can check introduction, small talk. Let's submit, and I will see the feedback. This is multiple choice question. Oh, what do you think? Multiple response. So here I need to decide which pick to demonstrate open positions. I mean the best pose for talking with people. I mean this one is the best. Perfect. So this quiz on how to gain the speakers is not only fun but also effective for retaining key information. To get more details about the course development process, you can also check out our guide on how to create an e-learning course. Let's go to step 4. Step 4 is to get learner feedback. Feedback is the best way to improve your training by making it relevant, experiential, and effective. It's a great idea to start the feedback cycle before your course launches. You can share it with a community of authors, subject matter experts, and other stakeholders to collect their feedback and make any necessary tweaks before they roll out. You can also run polls, surveys, or focus groups to make sure you are on the right track. Once the course is launched, use evaluation surveys to collect feedback from learners. This lets you test the initial success of your training and gain insight into what's working or what needs improvement. It's important right here to ask right questions in your survey. Here are some reliable examples. Did the training content meet your expectations? How would you rate the quality of the training on a scale from 1 to 5? Did you learn something useful? Did you find the content engaging? Would you recommend the course to your colleagues? What would have been improved? I mean, these questions are really useful in terms of collecting the feedback. You can usually create your service directly in the authoring tool. For example, in iSpring Suite, you can use Likert scale questions to evaluate learner satisfaction. Depending on the answer you expect, you can also use numeric, short answer, and multiple choice questions. For detailed personal feedback, you can even include an essay question. Mhm. Let's go back to step 5. Mhm. Mhm. Step 5 is to measure results. Learning analytics are super valuable for L&D professionals. They allow continuous mining for both quick and in-depth insights into how the training is performing. Kindly use your LMS to see how effective your training methods and learning content are by looking for at least these important metrics: learner progress and learner results. A learner progress report will show you a comprehensive picture of training in your company or customer service department. How many courses have been completed, how many are overdue, and so on. Learning results will let you know how each user performs. Assessment scores accompanied by a number of attempts, time spent, and other useful details will give you insight into trainees' comprehension. And at the end of my presentation, I would like to share some handy tips for boosting learner engagement. When it comes to self-driven learning, the biggest risk is that learners will turn off. Keeping them engaged in your learning doesn't have to be difficult. First of all, it would be great to add some multimedia to your training. Videos are the great way to keep learners engaged. You can create your own similar instructional videos. Tools like iSpring Suite Max allow you to record videos both from your screen and webcam. With interactive video creation tools, you can go even further. Interactive videos can also include quizzes, gamified content, clickable menus, and interactive storylines that let learners choose their own adventure. The So here in this picture, you can see the example of Aliens Group. This demo showcases the power of interactive video perfectly. It's a creative way to experience a day in the life of a newly hired manager at the Aliens Group. This type of video is a great alternative to customer service training icebreakers that are often included with in-person training. On the left side, you can see a pop-up window, and you will be able to take a look at this later as well. The next step is to connect training to real life. Research by Forbes reveals that almost half of employees don't consider their current internal training relevant to their daily responsibilities. Relevant training, relevant learning means that the course content resonates with learners and builds skills that they need for their work on a day-to-day basis. When training customer service staff, behavioral training is key. If your staff needs to work on their conflict resolution skills, they will need a controlled environment to practice in. And as I mentioned, you can achieve this by using Dialog simulations in iSpring Suite Max. The next tip is to take advantage of microlearning. Nowadays, microlearning provides bite-sized learning chunks that focus on a specific topic and take just from 1 to 15 minutes to complete. The average worker has just 20 minutes per week to dedicate to training, making microlearning a powerful way to promote continuous learning. Bite-sized content can increase information retention by 20%, making microlearning the key to maximizing training time and effectiveness. Yet mobile learning and employees have no excuse to not upskill, no matter how busy they are. With iSpring Suite Max, you can also create micro-learning modules easily and quickly. Here in this picture, you can see product demo training, and this is a perfect example of the Power micro-learning courses. Let me Mhm. So here you can see this. We call it interaction, and right now you will be able to see different parts of this vacuum cleaner, and that's a perfect example of a micro learning course. With this one course, your learners will be able to learn your product in a great way. The next tip is to use gamification. Gamification engages and boosts learners' motivation by using game mechanics like points, leaderboards, and badges. So in this example, you will see one gamification story, success story, Domino's. So as you know, Domino's is a giant in the fast food industry, and they had a very specific training need to onboard new staff as quickly and effectively as possible. So they created the Pizza Maker course, a gamified training program that includes simulations to engage, assess, and reward employees. Its success was largely due to using game mechanics to encourage employees to beat past scores and constantly improve. Mhm. The learn objectives for them was to create new employees to master the menu more quickly and decrease onboarding time while maintaining high quality service. And it was a huge success. The next tip is learn through storytelling. Another great tip for learner engagement is using storytelling. One of the most effective ways to do this is with video simulations or real life scenarios where learners have to apply knowledge. This type of learning experience is perfect for putting theory into practice and developing soft skills. A powerful example of this is 2100 game. It's a futuristic adventure that tells the story of a student traveling forward in time to move up from the bottom level of a company all the way to a CEO. Your success depends on how well developed your customer service skills are. The game recreates up to 27 real situations to work on a total of 17 skills. And I hope we were able to give you a deeper insight into how to launch successful customer service training or take your in-person training online. Take the first step today by finding the authoring tool and LMS that fits your needs. Also, it would be great if you download a free iSpring Suite trial and test drive the iSpring Suite Learn LMS to explore all their features now. Thank you very much for your time today, and I believe that's a great time for Q&A session. My favorite resources for making interactive videos, of course, I mean, you can use iSpring Suite for creating these interactive videos. With the help of iSpring Suite, you can record yourself, and also you can use your current video file and make it really interactive by adding some text to this file. You can merge a few video files, or for example, you can delete the audio from one video file and merge with another audio or video file. I mean, there are a variety of ways to make your video or audio file really interactive.
Manage narration tab in iSpring Suite easily.
Right. Thank you so much, Jace. Right, you can use Manage Narration tab in iSpring Suite very easily and synchronize your slides with your narration, like audio or video narration. By the way, you can not only record yourself and use that as a narration, you can use any video file as a narration and also synchronize it with slides in Narration tab in iSpring Suite. I mean, it's super easily to do that. Right, and by the way, thank you so much, Jace. By the way, we also have from text to speech feature. You can easily convert your text into speech and record as a narration, or sorry, convert and insert as a narration, or you can insert to only to some elements in iSpring Suite. And this can be done in a few clicks. I mean, it's also very easily and intuitive.
Thank you so much, Katie, for covering that question too. And I think that we don't have any questions, so we can wrap up our session. What do you think about that?
Yes, of course. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Yes, thank you very much, everyone, for coming today and joining us and spending that valuable hour. And I hope you have enjoyed our today's session. Have a great day.
Perfect. Have a great day. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Have a wonderful day.